Welcome back to my channel. I'm Elisheba. The past 2 weeks have been a whirlwind. I feel like the past 2 months have been a whirlwind. For those of you who don't know, I just recently lost my boyfriend to suicide. It's been a lot of days since I found out, so it's a lot easier for me to talk about it now, and I think I've come to accept the reality that I'm living in. A reality without him in it. Or at least him the way that I used to have him. I can't touch him anymore. I can't tell him about my day and hear his voice, his soft voice. I can't be held by him anymore. I can't see his eyes. And it's really hard for me to let go of all that. And I'm still in the process of doing that. But I truly believe that he is still here. And he's still with me. I had this dream 2 nights ago. And in this dream, I was joining this adventure group. And they were traveling by train. But like they weren't inside the train, they were traveling on top of the train. And I got up and I was like super afraid. And so like I sit in the middle and the train starts and I'm just terrified. Like I feel like I'm going to fly off. And the train ends up stopping and Elijah gets on top of the train. He like climbs up and he sits with me and he holds me. He like sits down and then sits me in between his legs, and he just holds me from behind. Then the train moves and we go on our adventure. And he starts telling me about the house that he's gonna build me. No, I think the house that he already built for me. And that's where we were headed towards. It was a really nice dream. And it felt so real. I hope he visits me more. I think every time that I push myself to conquer my fears, I'm going to think of him. I think I'll feel like it's him pushing me towards that. He would always just push me towards conquering my fears. He would keep asking me to ride his motorcycle with him, and I wish I had said yes at least once. But he would always ask me without any preparation. If he told me, hey, let's go riding on this day, wear this clothing and closed-toed shoes, because I'm always wearing sandals, then I would have gone. But he never gave me time to prepare. And I was always in sandals, so I couldn't, be protected. So, anyways, I wish I got to ride a motorcycle with him. I think I would have. Even though I was really scared. He would keep telling me to get my license, like I could do it just like in a day. He wanted to go rock climbing. He was so fearless. He wasn't even afraid to die. I wish he was still here. And I had this thought, because I asked his mom if I could go see his body at the morgue, and I had this thought before I went, what if I just, I go and, I lay on him and I just beg God to bring him back? What if my tears can bring him back the way that Rapunzel brought back Eugene? What if God loved me so much that he would give me back the person that I loved? But then I went to go see him. And I couldn't bring myself to beg God. Because I felt like that would be selfish. And I looked at his body and I just remembered how much pain he was always in, always. He had really bad arthritis, and it was eating away at his muscles, and he was just 24 years old, and it was just gonna get worse. So I didn't beg, and instead I just said goodbye. I stroked his hair one last time. I felt his skin, even though he was so cold. I let out all the pain that I had. And when I was done, I said goodbye. And I loved him. I'm glad he's not in pain anymore. And I have to accept that I have him in a new way. Instead, he's just watching over me and guiding me and sending me songs. And I can talk to him, but he can't talk back. Not in the way that I need. I have to let go. I have to let go of his physical form and accept that he's just a part of the one now. I think it's funny because, like, we had a lot of disagreements about, like, God and Jesus and just the way that the universe worked. And I always felt like I knew more than him because of all the psychedelics I've done, the things that I've seen, the ego deaths. Like, I always, like, just had this idea, like, one day he will understand, one day he will see what I've seen and learn what I've learned. And now he beat me to it. Now he knows more than I ever will know in this life. I feel like he's laughing about that. Since his passing, I've been going through so many different emotions and having so many different thoughts. The first thoughts were about guilt. Wishing I had never taken this job that would steal so much of my time with him. Regretting that I didn't prioritize our time together and our time for talking. Just because I was too tired, but I know I was strong enough to spare some energy for him. I could have. It was just 2 months. I could have given him more. I regretted putting distance between us just because I was scared and confused. I know it wasn't my fault. I know he knew he loved I know he knew I loved him, because he would tell me that. But if I had known that I was gonna have so little time with him, I would have savored every single moment. And I felt guilt for having moments after where I just wouldn't think about him. I would try to distract myself, whether it be through conversations or a party. because afterward, I had to go back to work. And my mom told me, like, you don't have to go. But I felt Elijah telling me, like, pushing me to go. To not let it all be for nothing. To finish. I just had a week left. It was just a week. So I went back. And I understood why Elijah was pressuring me too. Because being surrounded by joy and kids, it helped ease the pain a little bit. At first it kind of made me feel really empty because like I knew like I was going through so much on the inside and I just couldn't bring myself to smile or laugh or cheer or do the camp songs. But it was nice seeing that life still goes on, even when your whole world falls apart. It gave me hope that I could one day get back to that. Get back to feeling joy. And on Friday of last week, I had this moment where I was feeling really sad. And it was nighttime. And I was just staring at his picture. And the girls, like the campers that were staying in my cabin, they were being thrown a party in a different cabin by the cabin leaders. So they were having a goodbye party, and I was debating whether I should go or I should stay and just be sad and just grieve while everybody else was having fun. And I felt Elijah push me to go, and I felt him say, like, I want to see you have fun. Because now he really can see me at just any point. Or I feel like he is. He can just see me existing and being me in my most authentic self. Because I'm not masking for him or for anyone really, because I can't bring myself to mask. And so I went, and the first song that was playing was the sad song. It was called Lovely by Billie Eilish. Isn't it lovely, all alone, heart made of glass, my mind of stone, tear me to pieces, skin and bone, hello, welcome home. Like literally, I just really resonated with that, and I felt like that welcome home part was like for Elijah, because he's finally home. He's finally somewhere better than here. And then the next song that plays is Just Dance, gonna be okay. Da da do, just dance, let the record play. Da da do, just dance. So yeah, it just like felt like little messages from him. And I danced and I laughed and I let myself have fun. I let myself cry at this one part because Katy Perry started playing. What was it called? Or how did it go? In another life, I will be your girl, and you'll keep all your promises, be us against the world. In another life. I broke down during that song. And I really hope I really hope that I do get to see him in the next life. I hope that the next life is for us, for me and him. I hope we get to grow old together in that life. And we'll both be more healed and prepared for each other. It just wasn't meant to be this one. His soul was learning so many things about pain and suffering. And I pray that the next life is just so peaceful and easy for us. There was another moment that I had while in camp. This girl, she was like an LT. She was in leadership training, so she's there to help the counselors with the campers. And she came back after church camp, and she asked me to read her testimony that she wrote down. And she was like, I feel like you of all people would want to read this. And so I did. And she talks about how she's had to let go of a lot of things to get closer to God, to feel God again. And she wrote down in this one part, she was like, even though I've lost my boyfriend, at least I can, how does she put it? Even though I've lost my boyfriend, at least I can feel the love from the people around me and see God in them. It was something like that. But it really spoke to me. I really resonated with that part specifically. Because she was talking about how, she realized that God is in other people. And the more that she spent time with them, the more that she felt God. And experiencing loss kind of pushed her to go towards those people. And she mentioned, I think it was Luke 6:23, if I'm not mistaken. And she opened up the Bible and she was like, so I read it, and the first word is, so be glad and let joy in. I don't remember what the verse says exactly, but that's what I took. And the whole passage was about faith and being sculpted or chiseled through tribulation, and how it was not in vain and we were being made stronger, but to seek joy through it all. And it felt like God and Elijah giving me permission to be happy. Because that was also where my guilt was coming from. Like, those moments where I just let myself laugh and smile and enjoy a conversation. I felt guilty for not feeling Elijah or thinking about Elijah or reaching out to him or picturing his face or not mourning. And I just realized, like, all Elijah ever wanted was for me to be happy. So why would he not want me to be happy now? And it's so hard. But I know that it will get easier. And I have to let myself let him go. Let go of the future I thought we were gonna have. I really, really thought I was gonna marry him. I really wanted to. Even though I knew he wasn't perfect, he was not perfect by any means. And I wasn't perfect either. Because I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of everything. And I wanted to make sure that he was going to be able to take care of me and hold me through that fear. And there were times, if I'm being honest, there were times where I didn't think that he could. And that's why I was just so confused. But he was just so quick to correct himself and to be better, to do better. And like he wanted to be a good man. He wanted to grow up. And he wanted to become somebody that could be a good father, a good lover, a good husband, a good friend. And he always had the right words to say. Like, anytime I would bring up something that I had an issue with, one, he would call me out on my bullshit, if I ever had any. He would show me or bring to my attention that, I was just letting my fears drive me, or I was misunderstanding him, or like my vision was being clouded by other things. Who knows, right? But he would call me out on my BS. But if I didn't have BS, and if he was doing the BS, he would be so quick to say he was sorry. And sometimes he'd even point out the things that he does on his own and say he was going to do better, and then he would do better. And I realized that that's what mattered. He didn't have to be perfect. I didn't need him to be perfect. I needed him to be willing to grow alongside me. And he was. I wish that he waited for me to get out of camp. I wish that he meditated more, and I wish he did a parasite cleanse. I wish he fucking quit his job and took out some money, and so that we could both just go somewhere where we can live for cheap and just rest. Because I know that's all his body needed, is rest and to be cleaned. I really, really believe that. I really believe that we could have found a solution. I really believe that he could have healed himself. But he just couldn't see beyond his pain. There's a lot of things that I wish were different. But in order for me to be okay, I have to accept things as they are. And I have to just feel whatever I need to feel when I need to feel it. Whether that be sadness, emptiness, pain, or joy. Whatever I need to feel, I need to feel it. And I've realized that grief really does come in waves. It's not a straight line. You don't go from just, like feeling pain, feeling grief, and then like every day, being easier and easier. No, it's just like there's some days that are really fucking hard, and there's other days that feel a little bit easier. For me, I've realized like the mornings, like the first half of the day is just really hard for me. It's when I feel his absence more than anything. And like I can't like focus on anything. I just want to look at pictures of him, and I just want to like think about memories that we had. Or I just want to stare at a blank wall. But then, I don't know, the day goes on and I have to eat, and I have to shower, or I don't know, I have to talk to people. And it feels a little bit easier isn't the word. It just feels like there's more cushion for me to land on, if that makes sense. And sometimes I think like, okay, I'm feeling better. I don't feel like I need to cry as much as I usually do. But then there's these moments that just hit me. And I'm trying not to fight it, because I know that these emotions are rising up because they need to be felt. I think like it's just, I think it comes up the most when I just want to be able to feel him, or talk to him, or see him, or just anything. And I just can't. I can't. I feel so helpless. And I start just being angry that I can't like shift into a reality where he's still here. There's this quote, and it's a very generic one, but I really understand it now. It's grief is just love with no place to go. I loved him more than I've ever loved anybody. And I felt loved. I felt so loved and so cherished. And I'm scared that I'm never gonna be able to experience that again. Because he was so special. He was so special, and he just really loved me in the way that I needed, in the way that I've prayed for so long. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm cursed. Because anytime I really let myself love somebody, like fully, like when I let them in my heart, they just leave. Or they push me away. Or they die. I feel like if I let myself want something, God just won't let me have it. He'll just take it away. Rip it out of my hands. And I don't know. I don't know if I ever want to feel this again. I don't know. I don't know if I could go through this again. I don't. It's just so strange. Like, I want to love. I want to be loved. But at the same time, I'm just scared. I'm scared to go through this again. I'm scared that this is just gonna be the rest of my life. Just having the things I love ripped apart from me. And I don't think I'm like fully wrong for thinking that, because that's just a part of life. You know, people die. People leave. People grow apart. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to love, like, even with the risk of losing them. Because I don't regret meeting him. I'm so grateful that we found each other. I'm so grateful that God brought us into each other's life. Because I learned so much, and I conquered so much the fears that I had, and I learned so much about the wounds that I carry. I finally let myself fully love, and be loved. And he did that. It could have only been Elijah. Because he was so sweet. He was so sweet. He made me feel so special. He would always open my doors and surprise me with gifts. Like flowers that he would pick off of the side of the road. And flowers, like a pot of flowers that he would get me because he knew that I liked flowers that could stay alive. Or snacks that he knew I liked. Or this. He got me this in Mexico. He really paid attention. And he was so giving. I'm glad that I met him. I'm glad to know that somebody like that could exist. I'm glad to know that the love I've been searching for exists. And it's not easy. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. It requires so much sacrifice and surrender. It requires so much surrender. It was so hard. I was so afraid. I had to just push myself to just accept this person into my life. Accept my feelings for them. Accept their feelings for me. Accept their flaws. And accept my own. I realized what real love feels like. What it's really supposed to be like. And I don't think I'll ever forget Elijah because of that. Because of the part that he played in my growth. I don't want to forget him. I want to think about him when I go to Thailand and Costa Rica. I want to think about him. I want to think about him every time that I conquer a new fear. I want to think about him when I finally meet somebody that can love me the way that he loved me. I want to think about him anytime I see squirrels. When he was younger, he used to help squirrels get rehabilitated and given back to the wild. I want to think about him anytime that I see my dogs, because he loved them so much. I want to think about him anytime that I feel insecure and remember how beautiful he thought that I was. I want to carry him with me as I live on for the both of us. I don't really know what else to say, so I'm just going to read something that I found on Elijah's phone. It was one of the last pictures he took of something that he was reading. Hopefully he can speak to you. The path to self-actualization isn't to try to improve ourselves because we think we're not enough, but to let go of the illusion that we're not already enough as we are. I'm going to read that one more time. The path to self-actualization isn't to try to improve ourselves because we think we're not enough, but to let go of the illusion that we're not already enough as we are. He was more than enough for me. I really, really, really hope that he saw how much I cared about him. I really hope that he feels it now. I really hope that he's here with me. I really hope he's hearing me talk about him. I really hope that I could feel joy again. I really hope he's not in pain anymore. I really hope I get to see him in the next life. I really hope I never forget him. I love you, Elijah. I love you so, so much. I miss you. Just watch over me, okay? Keep taking care of me. If I can tell you one thing, it's to really, really appreciate the people that you have in your life. And don't live with regrets. Do what your soul calls you to do. Let yourself love. Don't listen to fear. Give in. Give in to life. Hold on to the people that you have around you. Speak to a stranger. Call your friends often. Say I love you as much as possible. Don't hold back. Love with all your soul. Yeah. And I think that's all I have to say. I love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for grieving with me. If you're grieving also, if you're grieving a loved one, I hope that this video brought you some comfort. You're not alone. You are not alone. Reach out. Reach out to people until somebody answers. Don't give up. Don't give up on your life. Live it to the fullest. Okay, I love you. Goodbye.